Good afternoon again, baseball fans. We hope you've stuck around with us for this second game of the doubleheader, third game of the series between the Trinity Tigers and the Schreiner Mountaineers. Harrison Durow will be on the mound for the Trinity Tigers, going against a very different Schreiner lineup today. For Game 3, leading off in right field, Aiden Warren. Batting second, the designated hitter, Gerardo Cardosa. Batting third at shortstop, Chance Goins. The cleanup hitter, the catcher, Joseph DiCarlo. In left field, batting fifth, Tyler Juarez. Batting sixth, the third baseman who just pitched in Game 1 of the doubleheader, Brandon Cardenas. Batting seventh, this is a new face at first base, Rain Ecker. Noah Saucedo at second base, batting eighth, and rounding it out, the center fielder, Seth Joseph. They will face Harrison Durow, and to see the start of Harrison Durow's start, we have another starting pitcher. It's me, Brian Yanselson, here with you. I'm not the pitcher. We have Cade McGahan, who last night threw a complete game shutout, 7 strikeouts, just 1 hit allowed, joining us on Tiger Network for the first time. Welcome, Cade.
Hi, Brian. How are you doing?
Doing fantastic. So happy to have you here.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
What do you think? Game hasn't gotten going, but just this perspective alone that we have on Tiger Network.
Very cool. I haven't seen it before. All sorts of screens and camera angles that I didn't even know we had, but definitely cool. I haven't seen it before.
Yeah, we pull out all the stops here on Tiger Network, and on this senior weekend and senior day, very lucky to have you, a senior, after making your final home start, getting to talk a little bit with you through the broadcast, and it'll be fun to have your perspective on Harrison as well. What are you expecting from Durow today?
I expect a great outing from Harry. I think he's ready to go. He's been really good mentally all week. I saw him this morning. He looked confident and composed, so I expect a really great outing out of him.
Harrison Durow, the junior from Dallas, Texas, threw 7 innings, 5 hits allowed, and just 2 earned runs last week at Southwestern. Also punched out 9 Pirates. However, he did record the loss because those 2 runs allowed in the first inning were all that the Pirates needed, a 2-1 win. But Durow today trying to pull out the brooms for the Tigers, and his first pitch, a swing and a miss, strike 1. Cade, we'll talk about Harrison, of course, as he goes along, but can't go much further without talking about your dominant performance last night. No runs allowed, those 7 strikeouts. What did you feel was working for you as you see a check swing strike from Harrison?
Mostly sliders. Yeah, breaking ball is probably the most I've ever thrown in an outing. So it was probably 70% of my pitches, just peppering sliders. For whatever reason, they couldn't figure it out, couldn't put good swings on them. So just kept going to it, just like that one. Good pitch, Harry.
There you go. So you can do the play-by-play.
Yeah.
Strike out quickly for Harrison Durow, picking up right where you left off, Cade. And I want to ask you, because we as broadcasters spend a lot of time looking through the numbers, of course, and we've talked all weekend long about this Schreiner lineup. They hit .314 as a team, leading the conference. Is that something you know ahead of time, and do you prepare differently?
We definitely knew about it. Dave definitely let us know before the series that this was going to be a challenge and a good hitting lineup. We knew that they were aggressive going into the series. So, I mean, we were just all focused and excited to face the challenge that these guys presented. And yeah, but it didn't really change too much of what we do, but we just knew that it was going to be a good challenge.
Pitch inside from Durow to one of the best Schreiner Mountaineer hitters, Gerardo Cardosa. He got an up-the-middle base hit in the first inning. Schreiner really threatened a couple of times in Game 1 of this doubleheader, but they couldn't quite pull through other than that 1 run. And now a looping breaking ball. 1-2 the count for Harrison Durow. Durow making his 3rd start of the year. 3rd in a row as well, because he did not start the year as the starting pitcher. He had been in the bullpen. And this 1-2 from him, a little up and in. But we were talking about how it really is a great problem to have when there seems to be too many pitchers that Dave and Tim have struggled to get them all in there enough. It's because you don't give them a chance to come in. You throw complete game shutouts. What can they do?
I don't know. Just I can't worry about that. Just do the best I can. I know all the guys in the bullpen, they're always rooting for us. I never ever feel like they're like wanting us to get out of there so they can get their opportunity. It's just a lot of love and support from all the boys. So definitely a good problem to have.
2-2 on the way from Durow. Not biting is Cardosa. 3-2 now the count. The catcher for the first 2 games of the series, now the designated hitter because he is not a bat Schreiner can afford to lose. Waiting patiently. Now Duro ready to fire. A line drive into right center field. That's going to get down for a base hit as Rigor ranges over to hold it to a single, but Cardoza does what he does so well, knock through a base hit. What have you seen from that swing in particular of all the Schreiner hitters? He is hitting over 400 still. Pretty astronomical number.
To be honest with you, when I'm out there, I can't really tell the difference between the hitters. And my approach facing them doesn't really change that much. I think Tyler is more locked into that sort of thing. So when he puts something down, I usually just ride with him and then try to deliver my best pitch. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they all have pretty impressive swings, so. But my approach doesn't really change.
Another interesting point. See, you never know. You're just so zoned in on what you want to do and what your catcher wants to do.
They're all righties, too. So I mean, they have similar frames and body types. So I didn't really tell the difference between them, to be honest.
Chance Goins gets a hold of one, sends it out to deep left center field, but not a problem for Jack Peterson. Gets there in time for the second out. Runner has to go back to first. 2 away now in the first. Gave it a ride, but it stays in the ballpark. You mentioned your catcher, Tyler Pettit, somehow continues to catch both ends of doubleheaders. That's something that impressed all of us here at Tiger Network from the moment he stepped on campus as a Tiger. Harrison misses up and away to Joseph DiCarlo, the cleanup hitter. But talk about that relationship you have to have with your catchers. I mean, it's a very special one, right? So Tyler has been here the entire time that you have been here.
Yeah, I mean, Tyler's obviously a great catcher. Probably the best catcher I've ever had in my life. Definitely just a bunch of trust built up. I have no problem throwing a ball in the dirt to Tyler. 100% confidence he's going to block it. Yeah, I mean, he's just a great guy to have behind the plate. He's phenomenal defensively. He's a great teammate. He's with you. He supports you. So, yeah, I couldn't ask for a better battery member than Tyler. And it's been a joy to have him as my battery for all 4 years. So, shout out, Tyler.
Shout out indeed. Tyler Pettit setting up outside for Duro. He gets it there, but DiCarlo able to fight it off to stay alive. 1-2 the count, 2 away in the top of the first. Schreiner trying to salvage a game from the series while the Tigers want another sweep. This home turf has been very friendly to the Tigers, especially in conference play. 1-2 from Duro, looped over to left field, but that'll be a foul ball. Tigers sweeping Austin College here at home, sweeping Centenary here at home. So looking to go 3 for 3 against SCAC opponents. Pettit now creeping inside. Duro gets it right there, but again, DiCarlo fighting it off. How frustrating are foul balls, especially with 2 strikes as a pitcher?
Depends on if you executed the pitch or not. If you throw a really good one, then you'd be like, But I don't know. If you get away with like a bad one, then I guess you're like sort of happy in a way.
Pettit now setting up away from the hitter, and it works to perfection. Duro gets another strikeout. Pettit cleans it up, and that'll be that for the top of the first. Duro, a pair of strikeouts just a hit allowed, but the Tigers come into bat in a scoreless game. We will not take a break, though, because how could we, with the starting pitcher from last night with us, get a little bit of a better chance to talk without the distractions of the game, if you will. And it's actually a question from your dad he told me to ask you. He says you work very quickly, but the way he described it is you pitch as if you double parked your car. And he wants to know why that is.
I think that's just sort of the tempo I'm comfortable with. I don't know. I think that maybe that's just like how I live my life, is just sort of fast-paced. I can't explain it. It's just sort of the way I do it. I feel like I have the stamina to pitch that way, and I feel like it gives me an advantage, so why not? And I'm comfortable doing it, so yeah.
Seems like that's something that the whole pitching staff has really gotten a hold of. I mean, Jackson Tier, you blink and the game's over. We just played a 9-inning game in 2 hours. It's unreal. And your game was under 2 hours.
Yeah. I think tempo is definitely like an important part of pitching that doesn't get enough credit, but it improves the rhythm of the game, the position players can get in their flow better, and it just helps the whole game flow, and it helps us win when our pitchers are working fast and are effective and efficient.
Now, you might hate me, but do you want to take us through the home starting lineup for the Tigers?
Yeah, a lot of seniors I'm seeing. I love it. Ezra leadoff. Bake played a great game yesterday. Tyler, the Worley vet, great bat. Ty, great fielder, great four-hole. I love him in the four-hole, actually. I do. Just tons of mature at-bats from Ty. Michael Montreza, big sink. Yeah, Jack Peterson, great center fielder defensively. Great bat, Austin. Glad to see he's getting another start. K-Dog at first and T. Haney. Yeah, I love it. It's a good lineup.
It's a great lineup. Like you said, full of seniors. All 5 position player seniors that could be in the lineup are in the lineup for the Trinity Tigers. Head coach Tim Scannell likes to think he's not a sentimental one, but we kind of see it here in the lineup. Maybe he is just a touch.
I'm surprised by it because in years past, it hasn't been an all seniors thing, and I'm glad he got Schmidt in the last game too. It was a nice little touch there. So yeah, not used to Scannell being super sentimental, but yeah.
You can't help it sometimes, and a senior will lead it off. Ezra Gore, it'll be the junior on the mound for Schreiner. Delivers a strike to start things off. Bo Veely, the junior from Round Rock, Texas. He's a transfer from Ranger College. Schreiner didn't know exactly who would throw game 3. They were waiting to see how games 1 and 2 went. Coach Ryan Brisbane telling me TBD as the answer to the game 3 starter, and I guess it's been determined. Veely getting the opportunity. Gets ahead of Gore 0-2. Gore, a pair of hits earlier in the day. Has been working on shortening his swing up a little bit. We'll see what he comes up with on 0-2. Lays off one, down and away. Big crowd on hand from both sides, really. A ton of Trinity parents and family here, of course, but also Schreiner traveling down from Kerrville. Gore takes ball 2, evened up at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Cade, you face this Trinity lineup really more than anybody in practice, right? What is it like to now have the perspective of this center field cam for their at-bats?
I'm just thinking about what I would throw in these counts, knowing these hitters and their tendencies.
The 2-2, strike 3 called. Ezra Gore can't get his bat off the shoulders for that one. So Veely starts off his afternoon with a strikeout.
A lineup that's definitely not very fun to face in practice. Over many years, they've gotten to me better than a lot of other teams. So, yeah, definitely a lot of great hitters in this lineup.
Jack Baker, the latest of those great hitters up to bat here with 1 away in the first. He had himself quite the afternoon yesterday as he takes strike 1. With the glow stick in hand, going 2 for 3, scoring twice, driving in 2 runs, and he had a solo home run. Back in that 2 spot, and he lines it up the middle for a base hit. Just keep on hitting, Jack Baker. Have you heard the stories of the glow stick?
Yeah, I know the glow stick. I know the guys love it, and they think it has the most pop. We were all sad to see it go at the UD series. So I'm glad it's back, though. It's working.
It's back and better than ever. Truly amazing to see it. And now Tyler Pettit, a 60-year senior, doing damage all weekend long at the plate and behind the plate. He's first pitch swinging. That'll be a line drive single into left field. The Tiger bats are up and awake for game 2. 2 runners on with 1 away in the first.
Look at that smile.
Right at us.
Yep.
And here's your cleanup hitter. Cade, you love him here. Ty Preston coming up with a couple runners on, just 1 away. We've seen him be willing to bunt, but with 1 away, maybe he'll be swinging away.
Yeah, I think this is a great spot for Ty. It's like a important moment for a mature, good at bat. So, and I think Ty's a perfect guy for that. It's a good take.
You saw that before it even happened. That was magic.
A lot of baseball games. A lot of time spent with these guys.
Ty Preston ahead 1-0, making Veely come to him. Not showing bunt yet. A Trinity offense that has exploded for 10 runs in game 1 and 9 runs in game 2. Veely checking on the runners. Now the delivery, 1-1, evened up. And Cade, that's something I want to ask you about too as the Tigers threaten on offense. It's a Tiger offense that last year averaged nearly 10 runs a game. One of the best offenses in the country. But the pitching staff had an ERA over 6. The worst ERA since 1999 here. But now, y'all are top 15 in the country, an ERA at 3.5. And you have been a big part of that. What do you think really has been responsible for the turnaround?
It's a loaded question. I think it just starts with our individual commitment. Starting in the fall, every single person on the staff was really committed to the weight room, to doing things the right way, getting our conditioning right, and then just like focusing on the craft. Once we got on the field, it was go, go, go. And we were getting better every day, and I really think we're still getting better every day. I think we're looking better as a staff every week. So I'm excited.
3-1 on the way to Preston, and it's ball 4. Hill tosses bat head on to first. Bases loaded for the Tigers with just 1 away in the first inning. And up comes the senior, Michael Montreza.
I got to give a little shout out to Dave and Drake as well. Definitely them giving us the structure to go about our work in the fall and in the spring definitely helped us develop into the staff we are right now. So shout out to them as well.
Yep, that's pitching coach Dave Smith and senior Drake Eggers, who we will definitely highlight as his game goes along. But right now, Montreza, a chance to really break things open for the Tigers. Fouls off that first delivery. A fellow senior, Cade, looking to do some damage. What do you think Mike can do here?
I just think he needs to have a great at-bat, see pitches well, not try to do too much. And just try to drive something, hit something hard.
He drove in 1 earlier today, had an infield single as well. Now the 0-1 right back up the middle. That's through to center field for a base hit. 1 run across, a second right behind him. Tigers up 2-0, just as you predicted, Cade.
Shout out, Mike. That was beautiful.
Seniors just getting it done on senior day. Montreza not playing yesterday, wasn't feeling the best, but he brought himself back to the ballpark today, and the Tigers are certainly happy about it. Doesn't get much easier for the starting pitcher, Veely, either. Still just 1 away, 2 runners still on, and Jack Peterson at the plate. He has been at the bottom of the lineup. He saw time in the 2-hole in game 1 of this doubleheader, and now batting 6th. First pitch to Peterson, a low strike. He takes a look at the signs from third base coach Andrew Waters. Runners at the corner, so there could be something on. Montreza was caught stealing earlier today for the first time all year. Not a very big lead. A looping breaking ball up high for ball 1. Would you say Jack Peterson is the fastest guy on this team?
Yeah, I think it's safe to say he can fly.
21 for 21 on stolen base attempts. Top 40 in the nation. And he's been handling the bat pretty well. Gets a tip on that one. 1-2 the count now. Also must feel pretty nice to have him ranging in center field.
Yeah, absolutely. He's great to have behind you. Every time I see a ball go up, I think it's caught. If it's to center field, I think Petey's got it. So, yeah, he's great to have out there.
He's awaiting the 1-2 from Veely. He misses upstairs. Ball 2 now. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Preston over there at third. Montreza at first. Trinity not wasting any time getting on the board today. Trying to take care of business against Schreiner. Remain in that second place spot in the conference. And pretty much guarantee their spot in Cleburne. The 2-2 to Peterson. Swing and a miss on that one underneath his hands. Veely gets a much needed second out. Pretty well executed pitch there.
Yeah, inside fastball. It's a good spot.
Now it'll leave it up to Austin Davison, yet another senior in this lineup, and he really came through in game 1. 3 runs batted in and getting another chance to do so. And he's wearing the batting gloves again. So last night, no batting gloves. Today, batting gloves led to 3 RBI. I think we like this look, Austin. Park City, Utah native. Bealey trying to go inside on him. He does, but it misses. 1-1 the count. He used to be one of your catchers, Cade. Now he's evolved. He's a first baseman.
Yeah, he's been here with me the whole time, too, as well. So another great teammate, another great guy to have on the team. Yeah, it's been a joy to spend this 4 years with him.
Can't get a piece of that one. 1-2 the count. Still runners at the corners. Tigers already up 2. Catcher DeCarlo in this game, setting up outside, and that's where the pitch goes. Strike 3 on the swing and a miss, but the Tigers do strike for 2, and they jump up by a score of 2-0. Well, Cade, it has been a pleasure calling your career. It has been a pleasure having you on Tiger Network. Thank you so much for joining us. And before I do let you go, I know yesterday was extra special for you, so I just want to give you the opportunity to say one final word on the special jersey and the special walk-up song you had yesterday.
Yeah, I just dedicated the game to my friend Joseph. I'm just glad I could do something small to honor his memory. And yeah, it's really special for me for a lot of reasons. Obviously, wearing that number to honor him, wearing number 7, throwing 7 innings, getting 7 strikeouts. So it was just special for a lot of reasons, and a lot of things worked out in a really nice way to where I know he was with me last night. And yeah, just very thankful for that moment.
It was a beautiful tribute, and we were lucky to be a part of it. Cade McGahan, thanks again.
Thank you, Brian.
Top of the second inning, back on Tiger Network. Trinity up 2, thanks to a Michael Montreza 2 RBI single. Harrison Duro now working with the lead, and Schreiner only scoring 1 run this entire series. Will need more than that if they want to salvage a game. And we just had Cade McGahan here on Tiger Network, and now we just have another very extra special guest, one that we didn't know would be here, but we saw him roaming around the field saying his hellos, and we had to have him on Tiger Network. Rafe Chalmette in the flesh on Tiger Network. Welcome back to Trinity, Rafe.
I'm happy to be here. It's beautiful, beautiful day for baseball, and the Tigers are playing well, so doesn't get better than this.
I know the first thing that caught your eye today is this new turf. What are your thoughts?
My jaw dropped, honestly, to be honest with you. It's just a testament to how hard our coaches and the whole faculty has worked to get this for our players and our program. It's really so beautiful, and it looks a little different than when I showed up at Trinity for sure.
Duro having a little bit of a hard time getting it off that turf. It'll be an infield single more than likely, as this was a really tough play for the pitcher. And Juarez, a very speedy runner. You see it would have taken a perfect toss, so a leadoff runner on for Schreiner. But that is something we have seen all year. Pitchers from both sides, hitters really having to get adjusted to it. What do you think would have been the biggest adjustment for you?
So, all turf plays differently. One thing that you need to be ready for with turf is the hops that it takes and maybe the skips that it takes as well. And it's completely different than playing on a dirt field. So as you can see, some balls are gonna just die sometimes, and it can be a little bit more of a difficult play. So it just takes a little bit of adjusting too. I'm sure that the Trinity guys are a little more adept than other teams, but it is an adjustment process.
Cardenas not showing bunt, pulls it back, now ahead 2-0. If this name sounds familiar, it's because he started game 1 of the doubleheader. But this Schreiner roster is full of versatile players who can pitch and hit. And here he lays down a perfect bunt. First baseman takes care of it, tosses it on to the second baseman, covering one away, but the job is done, moving the runner over to second. Executing it to perfection You like to bunt in your day, but more for hits than anything.
Yeah, always for hits, actually. Bunting is a good way to move the runner, but also selfishly maybe sneak a hit away from the other team. So it's a plus, especially for a team like Schreiner that has been struggling a little bit this weekend to get things going. A bunt can be a good way to do that.
Mountaineers have a runner in scoring position, one away, top of the second. They're down 2. And for the first time this series, we're seeing Rain Ecker, left-handed hitter. As Cade mentioned, not a ton of lefty bats in this Schreiner lineup, so the first we see, he pops it up foul out of play. I know one of the cool things so far for you also has been seeing the guys that you played with, and a lot of them now seniors who were just freshmen or sophomores, and Harrison Duro, one of those that did play with you while you were still here.
Yeah, so this whole group was young when I first got here, and I can't speak to the whole group as a whole, but Harrison specifically is just a great guy on and off the field. So it's always good seeing these guys do well and thrive, even when time goes on and on the new field and everything. It's a special moment for all of those watching.
And we'll get a look at this replay as you were saying that. It hit the umpire. So a hard hit ball off the bat of Ecker. It got into the field umpire, so certainly hope he's okay. Ball was stung and the trainers are out there. But Harrison Duro making his way into the starting rotation now. Don't know how closely you've been watching the Tigers this year.
Very closely.
Is that right?
Well-deserved. It's well-deserved. Harrison is a seasoned starter. He was starting games when I was a fifth-year senior 2 years ago. So he definitely has a lot of experience under his belt. He's a guy that was definitely ready for that.
We'll take a brief pause here on Tiger Network as the umpire is attended to, but don't go anywhere. Rafe Chalmette with us. Welcome back to Tiger Network. A delay here as the umpire took a line drive straight into him. We certainly wish him the best. I'm sure in your years of playing baseball, you were hit a time or two, and you know it's not fun.
A couple bumps and bruises along the way. We hope he's okay.
Leaves us with runners at the corners, one away. Trinity up 2-0, but Schreiner threatening. But we're here with Rafe Chalmette, and I think we need a little refresher here on Tiger Network, right? Because it's been a couple of years, right? But I mean, even I haven't taken a look at these numbers in a while, and I'm just like, wow, that really did happen here, okay? So I see your smile already. But let's remember, 5 years Rafe played here at Trinity. He played 179 games, which in and of itself is insane.
It's a lot of games.
And he hit 363. He had 46 doubles, 15 triples, 15 homers, and 36 stolen bases. Just a few little tidbits for you.
Yeah, I enjoyed every moment here at Trinity. I can't say thank you enough to every single person that played a role in my whole time here. It was a lot more than just me. My teammates were always supportive. I had a lot of really successful teammates around me as well, and we've seen that and these guys that are still doing well on the field, and those that have transitioned into being successful outside of the baseball field and in other places as well.
And in your final year here, you decided to be a super senior, use that extra year of eligibility. You hit 407.
Yeah, that was I think that was my favorite year, just because of the uncertainty after COVID. We really didn't know what was next. And I ended up coming back for that 5th year, and I feel like that year's team was a little bit tighter than maybe the 4 previous years. We were very close as a unit, and I really some of my best baseball memories were on the field, on the practice days with that team, and hanging out with the coaches. It was just a great collective group of guys, and I have nothing negative to say ever about anything Trinity, but that year specifically really will stand out for me for the rest of my life, honestly.
It was such a fun time to get to see you and all your fellow super seniors use that extra year after a lot of you thought you wouldn't ever come back to play baseball at Trinity, but you did, and you took advantage. And that year catapulted you because you weren't done playing baseball. You decided to take your talents up to the Division I level, and you played at Boston College for a year. Tell us about that.
I did. So I spent last year playing at Boston College, and it was just so great. And we compete in the ACC, so it was a little bit different in terms of where I was playing. We did a lot of traveling, but I enjoyed every moment of that as well. I'm very thankful for Trinity and the opportunities that it presented to me past Trinity as well. Boston College was a special experience. I got to play places that I never dreamed of getting to play, and play in front of crowds that I never dreamed of getting to play in front of. So BC has been a blessing for me in different ways that Trinity has, but I'm equally as thankful for both of my baseball opportunities and just the guys that I've gotten to meet along the way. I think that's the biggest part of my whole baseball career is I've been blessed to just meet fantastic people like yourself, Brian, that have been a part of my journey, and I hope I've played a role in your journey as well. And I think that's the best part about baseball is its ability to bring people together.
No, you absolutely have played a part. I mean, when everything ended and everything just suddenly stopped, it was my freshman year. You were a senior thinking that you were going to go on this big run, one of the top-ranked teams in the country, and then everyone went home, and you were my very first Zoom interview as Tiger Network tried to figure that whole thing out. And it was a very different time. No one knew what was going on, but look at us now.
Yeah. I remember very clearly you and me sitting in our own respective bedrooms on Zoom, just talking about the uncertainty of it all. We could have never pictured it to all, pan out the way it did, but I think that was the whole beauty of that aspect of the journey is everything worked out at the end of the day, and getting to spend that last year with all of those guys, all that group of super seniors that you mentioned before was just something that was so special to us all because we all came back together and it was great.
Are y'all still pretty close since leaving Trinity?
Yeah, absolutely. I think something that I just mentioned was just the bond that you create playing. You spend so many hours with these guys. It's more than just these game days. It's the hours of practice and off the field, living with those guys. Some of my best friends in the world are my roommates. Were my roommates at Trinity, and we have friendships that will last forever. And that's just a testament to the culture that Scannell has created here at this school. It's unique. You talk to other guys across the college landscape, and there aren't a lot of cultures that are as strong as Trinity baseball, and you really realize it when you take a step back and out of that culture, how special this place is.
If you're just tuning in with us, we're in a delay. The umpire got hit by a line drive. It looks like we're getting ready to exit it pretty soon, but it's been a pretty lengthy delay, but thankfully we have our special guest, Rafe, with us to talk us through it. And I want to ask you about one of your teammates, because I know Michael Goodrich just got engaged. Isn't that right?
He did. And it's crazy that we're all entering that time of our lives. I'm very happy for them, obviously. No surprise, he is a wonderful guy, and she's a wonderful girl, and we're very happy for them. Absolutely. Yeah, it's crazy how we spent all these hours playing together on this field, and now we're entering a new chapter of all of our lives. So it's exciting. It's exciting.
So I want to ask you about Boston College again, because it wasn't 407, but a batting average of 246, playing 40 games at the D1 level. You hit 3 homers. One, I want to ask you, what does that show about the talent that's here at Trinity and at the Division III level that you were able to take that up to the D1 level?
Yeah. Something that I speak to a lot is just the marginal difference of talent between Division III and Division I. It's not as big as everybody really makes it seem. With that being said, it's easier said than done, but that's another example of how special this place is. All these guys like MJ Metz, Brian Schaub, Corey Cater, Sammy Conti, they've all made that transition already, and I'm sure there will be more that are going to have that opportunity, and they've all done it really well. So just speaks to the talent that's in this program.
We are back in action here at Trinity. First pitch from Harrison DeRoe, a strike after that break. As a reminder, Schreiner with runners at the corners. No, runners at first and second it'll be, since they moved the runner back over when it hit the umpire. So that's what they decided to do. One away in the top of the second, and Trinity up 2-0. Saucedo chops it towards the third baseman, steps right on the bag, onto first. Another collision. What will be the call here? An out called as Corson Hastings steps on the bag. What an inning we've had, Rafe. An inning-ending double play as Baker steps on the bag, makes a high throw. We'll get a look at it here, and it looks like Hastings will be rewarded with the out. I mean, we're getting a little bit of everything here.
It's a great play.
Had to go up to get it, collided, but I guess they're saying Saucedo didn't step on the bag, so then when Hastings alertly went back to the bag, that's a double play. Certainly take that.
We'll take it, absolutely.
So Tigers up 2-0, headed to the bottom of the second, but we'll stick around for this break and this remaining half inning with you, Rafe, if that's okay with you.
Absolutely. Happy to be here.
How do you feel about this perspective of the game? These cameras.
It's a little different. It's a little different. I now see what life behind the scenes is. I always joke with you, Brian, about watching these replays and hearing you call these games. You make it look a lot easier than it actually is. So I think, if anything, I'm in awe of how good you are at it.
Oh, I appreciate that. We're very blessed with all that we have here at Trinity, and a lot of hard work goes into it. So we're very appreciative of the opportunities and the opportunities to call such great baseball. I mean, we've had it all year long. We started with a 17-game homestand, played the top team in the country, Birmingham Southern. We've had teams like Babson and Concordia, Wisconsin, now conference play. It's been a whole lot of fun this year.
Yeah, and you know, one thing that's great is you have a field like this, everybody wants to play here, and so I'm sure it's not hard to find teams, and great teams, to find competitive games early in the season to come down here.
Leading off the bottom of the second, Corson Hastings at the plate. He did not see action in the first end of the doubleheader, but he just made that great play. Chops the first one over to second base. Saucedo has it. And an interesting sequence after Saucedo and Hastings ran into each other, that Saucedo retires Hastings for the first out. Baseball always tends to work that way.
It's funny how that works.
So when you look back on your time at Trinity, and now that you've had a little bit of separation from it, does anything stand out as the moment?
You know, that's a great question. Individually, I always look back at my 250th hit was kind of not just my best athletic moment at Trinity, but kind of just my best athletic moment in general in the conference tournament, hitting that for a home run. And one thing that you'll see that stands out if you ever looked back at the video is just the embrace of my teammates. I think that they knew how much that meant to me. And whether I would say it or not or admit it or not, they knew how much that meant to me. So just the excitement of them just really stood out and spoke to the brotherhood that we had. But I think that my all-time Trinity moment would be winning the SCAC tournament. I think it was in 2019, we won the whole tournament. And I think that was probably my favorite moment just because that team really came together and did things that it was a whole journey, you know, and there's ups and downs just like every other season. So I think winning that tournament was the best moment here, and hopefully they'll have the chance to do it this year as well.
It's really interesting that you bring that up as a memory, actually, that 2019 SCAC championship, because there's only one senior on this team and one player on this team who was a part of that roster, and it was Michael Montreza, who drove in the 2 runs earlier. Here it's another senior, Tanner Haney, who might get himself a base hit. He will definitely reach base. We'll await the ruling, but Tanner Haney on base in the second inning. This is a senior that you did not play with because Tanner transferred from the University of Texas at Austin. This is his second year in the maroon and white and getting a start on senior day and reaching first. Now, Ezra Gore, the other senior, up to bat. And Ezra, someone you definitely played with.
Yeah, Ezra is one of my favorite people. If you haven't had the chance to meet Ezra, then you're missing out. He's just somebody that lights up every room that he's in. He's a football star as well, as I'm sure the viewers know. But he excites a team, excites a locker room. He's somebody that you want to be around. You know, every day he just makes practice and the grind just a little bit more pleasurable.
Takes ball 2 upstairs, ahead in the count 2-0 with Tanner Haney over there at first. Starting pitcher Bo Veely still on the mound for Schreiner despite giving up a couple of runs in the first. Now having to deal with the top of the Trinity order, looking to go inside. Veely does get it there and gets the strike called. Great pitch from him. We've been talking about these seniors all weekend long, and one of the things we've been talking about is their post-graduation plans, and everybody's been on the edge of their seat seeing what Ezra's going to do. You know that Coach Urban and Coach Mahalik have been recruiting him to come back to play football, and he's pursuing healthcare administration, so there is a program here at Trinity. And Ezra told me he wants to make a special announcement soon, so I won't say exactly where he's going or what he's doing, but he is going to be pursuing 2 master's degrees and doing the most as he always does.
One of the first things that you'll learn about Ezra when you have a conversation about with him is how bright he is as a man. He's one of the smartest people that I know. So that doesn't surprise me at all whatsoever.
He has a 2-2 count here. Veely taking his time. Gore puts his hands in on that and stays alive. But even a senior like Gore, earlier today, receiving direct instruction from head coach Tim Scannell before the game, the teaching never stops, does it?
Never. I just had a conversation with Scannell between games, and he was instructing me on things. So I think that's one thing that he does that makes him special as a coach is just how he cares so much about his players and their development on and off the field. He's a coach that really cares and loves the guys that play for him. And that's one thing that stood out from the start, from the first time I met him.
Gore went down swinging with that 3rd strike. Jack Baker now up to bat with 2 away and a runner on first. Takes the first strike. 25 years now at Trinity for Tim Scannell.
And if you ask him about it, he will revert to talking about his players and never about himself. But it's important to remind him how special what he's done here is. And you know what? I have a feeling that he's just getting started. So
I would agree with you. I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon. Baker here with the 1-1 count. Takes it upstairs for ball 2. And you talk about that instruction that never stops. And Cole and I, who try to go to as many practices as we can, get to hear a lot of the huddles. And very recently, just this week, you were on the phone during practice with him, and he was using you as an example for his hitters, and an offense that has been struggling a little bit, wanting to get their timing going. And Tim Scannell turns to you as Jack Baker gives this one a ride to left center field, but the center fielder, Joseph, tracks it down for the 3rd out of the inning. But how does it make you feel that you are now being asked to help the current guys? Yeah,
it's so funny. You know, I want to be able to be a resource to these guys and help them in whatever way I can. So Scannell asked me for a cue that I used to use when I was hitting, and in the background I could hear the guys hitting it during practice, and it just speaks to how much he cares about the development of these guys. He will try and use anything that will help these guys become better players, better hitters, and if I can be a resource and a tool for that, I'm happy to help at all times, even if it's during practice.
Well, you are a great resource. One of the best players to ever wear the maroon and white here and play baseball at Trinity, and it's been our honor to call your games and to have you on the broadcast. Thank you so much for taking some time today.
Brian, I appreciate you as always, and thank you for everything.
Thank you. Tigers up 2-0, headed to the top of the 3rd. Thank you again, Rafe Chalmette, for joining us. All right, folks, what a first 2 innings we have had. Caden McGahan, Rafe Chalmette, 2 very special guests, and the Tigers taking a 2-0 lead in the meantime. And now we have our favorite guest on Tiger Network, someone who is a mainstay, Cole Isaacson. Welcome back to your spot.
Well, thank you, Brian. I was happy to give it up for the 2 innings. Of course, it's not often you get Cade McGahan and Rafe Chalmette here, but happy to have them on.
I feel like you've heard the name Rafe more than you've heard any other name, so you finally got to meet him.
Yeah, definitely. As you said, one of the best players to ever wear this uniform, so it was great to finally meet him, put a face to a name.
So great to have both of them on the broadcast, and now we have the rest of the game to worry about. Harrison DeRoe on the mound, up 2-0, but behind in the count 3-0 here to the center fielder. Takes a strike down the middle. This is the first we have seen of Seth Joseph, the junior from Pflugerville, Texas. He last played on April 14th against Centenary. Back in the lineup for Game 3 for the Mountaineers, and he fouls it the other way. DeRoe battling back to make it a full count. Pettit wants it in. DeRoe gets it in, forces the pop fly. Pettit will give it a shot, and he'll make the catch. You heard Cade talk about it, the wily veteran behind the dish, and that is one of the toughest plays in baseball, and he made it look easy.
Well, they end every pregame warm-up with a pop-up for a catcher to get, and that's why they practice these, because it is one of the toughest plays to make. But Tyler Pettit, veteran catcher, makes it look easy.
Lineup will turn over now to Aiden Warren, one away in the top of the 3rd. He'll swing at the first pitch and whack it foul. Warren had a pretty good game this afternoon. Schreiner offense definitely waking up more on the hit side, 6 of them. But they were just not able to push him through. Here, DeRoe misses outside for ball 1. Across 16 innings before this game, and now add on 2, so 18 innings. The Mountaineers have scored a single run. Pretty dominant. If you ask the Trinity pitching staff, it just continues to roll for them.
Yep, top 20 in ERA in the nation.
Although a beautiful bunt, and there's going to be no shot at all. Talk about a surprise. Aiden Warren laying it down with Jack Baker playing deep at third. And as soon as that one hit the turf, you knew it was a base hit.
It's interesting. Normally you want your bunts to be soft, but that's going to be hit hard enough to go past the zone that Harrison DeRoe is supposed to cover. And then it's just going to slow down before Jack Baker can get to it. So it hit just hard enough. One of the harder hit bunts we've seen that ended up reaching.
A base runner to deal with for DeRoe and Cardoza. Still hitting 444. It's been hovering there. Every time it goes down a bit, it jumps right back up for the catcher. Now DH today. Runner on the move, but he'll have to head back after the foul ball.
Important for Schreiner to take advantage of this. Find a way to get that runner over the second and bring him in. Trying to salvage a game in this series.
DeRoe gets the corner. Ahead now, 1 ball, 2 strikes. DeRoe an all SCAC honorable mention for the second straight year last season. So in both years wearing the maroon and white, he's been honored by the conference. 1-2 breaking ball laid off of by Cardoza. It's that breaking ball we've become so familiar with that gives opponents trouble. See what he goes to on 2-2. Pettit looks to be setting up outside. Warren over there taking a pretty big lead. Not going anywhere though, and DeRoe gets the K looking. Cardoza hopping up and down in the batter's box, but he'll just have to walk back to the dugout. Not happy at all, but DeRoe gets the fastball for the 3rd strike. We'll take a look.
Great location on that outside corner.
Definitely getting the call there if you're DeRoe, but he hit his spot. It's where Pettit wanted it, and that sometimes makes a difference, even if the K zone, if we had one, if we were ESPN, may not have shown it. It was a good pitch for DeRoe, and he got the benefit of the doubt.
It was a good pitch, and then you talk about Tyler Pettit being the veteran that he is, able to frame that a little bit, bring it up into the zone. Overall, a good job by the battery for the Tigers.
Now 2 away in the top of the 3rd. Chance Goins up to bat. Goins and DiCarlo, the 3-4 hitters, have the most pop in the Schreiner lineup. We'll see if they can get it going for a 2-out rally or if DeRoe will keep dominating. He gets strikeouts with the best of them, him and Jack Martinez. High leg kick from DeRoe, breaking ball sent foul towards the Mountaineer bullpen.
When we talk about that breaking ball, I think Cade McGahan said something really important about it. And it was that he's never afraid to throw a ball into the dirt when Tyler Pettit is catching. We know that's something Harrison loves to do.
Tried to go to the breaking ball, won't be a K, instead it'll be a hit. Gore collects it after 1 bounce, but the Mountaineers have runners on 1st and 2nd with 2 away in the top of the 3rd.
Yeah, it looked like he left it a little higher than he wanted to based on where the glove was from Pettit. We know DeRoe can locate that breaking ball pretty much wherever he wants. So just really relying on the glove to tell whether he wanted that into the dirt or low in the zone.
DeRoe has to be careful here. The cleanup hitter, DiCarlo, plenty of pop in that bat. 2 home runs against Our Lady of the Lake just before this Trinity series. But he waves at that first delivery. There's a breaking ball from DeRoe. 0-2 now. As pitching coach Dave Smith says, when Harrison DeRoe is on his A game, you don't get much better than him. Stands tall from the right side. The 0-2, swing and a miss. Strike 3. DeRoe gets out of it and strands a pair of Mountaineers. We're through 2.5. Tigers 2, Mountaineers 0. Bottom of the third in San Antonio, Texas. Trinity 2, Schreiner 0. Tigers trying to pull off the sweep, and they'll have the 3, 4, 5 hitters coming up to face Veely. It'll start off with Tyler Pettit. We've highlighted how good he is defensively, right? But we can't just ignore his offensive numbers, can we, Cole?
Well, he wants to be a defensive catcher, but he doesn't do a good job of giving that perception just because of how good he is offensively, how many home runs he hits, how many RBIs he gets on a routine basis.
104 games played as a Trinity Tiger. That's before this weekend, so you can add a couple. But overall, his career batting average, .353. He's got 19 homers, 102 runs batted in. And then to add the defensive numbers to that, he has caught 25% of his base stealer attempts, and he has only had 19 errors across those 4 years. So offense, defense, helping his pitchers, whatever has been needed, Tyler Pettit has done it.
Yep, complete package behind the dish and now at the plate as well.
And I think my favorite part of his 4 years, it goes unnoticed, but we've done our best to highlight it, and maybe we'll see it here. The speed. 10 stolen bases, and he's going to beat it out here. Look at him go.
I love it when the players can hear you talking and then just try and show that element of what they have. Going to give a really good 90 here. Going to have to beat this out. First baseman not quite able to collect it. But Pettit showing that element of his game.
Pettit caught last night. He caught the first game of the doubleheader. He's catching the second game of the doubleheader, and he's hustling down the line. What does that say? It says all you need to know. Giving it his all to the very last moment. Gives the Tigers a leadoff runner. And now Pettit will get to use his wheels. Mosey on over to second. Tyler Pettit. Leave some for everyone else. You're blazing past them with your speed right now. Now a runner at second, nobody out, and the cleanup hitter Ty Preston with an opportunity.
Yep, showing the importance of the catcher position. Lets one get by. All of a sudden, runner in scoring position. Tyler Pettit, the defensive catcher. That's what he likes to be known as, and does a good job at that with the amount of blocks that he gets.
Preston takes that breaking ball outside. Some groans from the Schreiner faithful as Preston gets ahead. 2 balls, no strikes. Drew a walk in his first plate appearance. The cleanup hitter this entire weekend. A new arrangement for head coach Tim Scannell, and so far, so good. Preston, a big swing. Can't get on top of that one. 2-1 now. Veely doing his best to keep this Trinity lineup quiet. Just misses low and away, 3-1. Veely got the start just a few days ago against Our Lady of the Lake. And he did quite well. 2 innings pitched, just a hit allowed. 2 runs allowed. So head coach Ryan Brisbane going right back to him for this game 3. It's been a spot that typically has been occupied by Devin Hooper, who you have heard about all weekend at the plate and defensively. And Veely gets the corner here, 3-2 on Preston. But Coach Brisbane saying Hooper's had a little bit of an arm issue recently. Haven't wanted him on the mound all that much now. And so he was not sure who would start game 3, but we have our answer. Veely ready for the 3-2, sends it over. Preston, a bouncer to second. Runner will move over as Preston is the first out of the inning.
Ty Preston in that cleanup spot. Talked about mature at-bats that he can give. Ground ball to the first base side, exactly what Tyler Pettit needs to move over to third base. That much easier to put in another run.
And here comes Michael Montreza, the 2 runs batted in today. And like we talked about with Rafe, the only member of this Trinity roster who was on the 2019 championship team. And here he goes again, a hard hit ball stopped by the shortstop, and he'll keep the runner at third. A heck of a play by Chance Goins to keep the runner at third and retire Montreza for the second out.
Looked like he was going to find that gap up the middle again. Not quite able to do it. And a good stretch by the third baseman. That throw a little off, by the first baseman. That throw a little off line. Able to go and get it and retire Montreza.
Peterson now will have to be the one to come through with 2 outs, runner at third. Tigers trying to add to their 2-0 advantage. Looper misses low. Peterson, a good eye. Peterson struck out his last time on a very well-placed fastball in underneath his hands. DeCarlo right now waving his glove on the outside part. Here goes a bunt, but it goes foul. Always have to be alert with Peterson at the plate.
Yeah, well, bunt in any situation, nobody on, 2 outs. They have confidence that he not only will lay down a good bunt, but a bunt that's good enough for him to reach first base as well.
Working inside out, Veely wanting to go in on Peterson now, but he misses well outside. For Coach Brisbane, saying that definitely where he sees the biggest room for improvement this year is the pitching staff. He's been very happy with glimpses of what they've shown. They just need to be able to put complete games together. And Veely looking good so far, trying to get out of this inning. 2-2 the count now on Peterson. The team ERA up at 6.58 coming into the weekend for Schreiner. Peterson lays off of that one and draws a full count.
Seen a lot of 2-out magic out of the Tigers today. Peterson can maybe draw a walk, extend this inning, who knows?
And the Mountaineers don't want him on first, that's for sure. The 3-2 to Peterson, swing and a miss. Veely gets him, a foul tip into the mitt, and the runner stays over there at third. So the speed of Pettit doesn't quite make it all the way home, and the Mountaineers keep the deficit at just 2, headed to the 4th inning. Welcome back to Tiger Network. Trinity 2, Schreiner 0. Top of the 4th inning from the Alamo City, and Tyler Juarez leading things off for Schreiner. 1 for 1, continues to do his part at the plate. Takes one high to start off his at-bat with a ball. Harrison Duro, the first we've seen him as a starter on Tiger Network. We saw all his flashes of dominance out of the pen. And we talked a little bit about it as he misses upstairs and in for ball 2. When Shavana came in game 1, Shavana and Duro basically flip-flopping roles. Shavana now out of the bullpen and Duro the starter. But it truly hasn't been because either of them have done anything wrong. I mean, they both have ERAs under 3, which is an incredible mark. It's been an experiment of sorts that pitching coach Dave Smith and head coach Tim Scannell want to play around with. And they loved what they saw out of Duro at Southwestern, so they gave it a second whirl here against Schreiner. Duro doing well so far, but right here, losing the leadoff batter with a 4-pitch walk. But in talking to Dave Cole, we know that he was very happy with how Harrison did at Southwestern, felt that he could go to a little bit more of his repertoire.
Yeah, talked about the pitches that he hasn't been able to incorporate that he has in his arsenal, most notably the changeup that he's able to sprinkle in there now. Able to go, hopefully for Trinity, 5-6 innings. More opportunities to use different pitches.
Batter Cardenas doing the same thing he did his first time up, showing like he wants to sacrifice the runner over. He did so successfully in the second inning. Schreiner has struggled to put runs across, so any advantage they can get, they will seem to take, but now swinging it away. And a big cut, 0-2 though after the foul ball. But we already know how dangerous his fastball curveball combo can be. So if you start to throw in a third and a fourth pitch, it makes Duro all the more deadly. And right there, it looked like the slider, the horizontal movement, Cardenas able to lay off of it.
Very impressive take there. A pitch that's very appealing. Looks like it's going to go into the zone off speed, but then it's just going to duck out of the way.
Goes right back to a breaking ball. Slow tapper. Duro, the bare hand throw, picked by Corson Hastings. And he gives a little fist bump saying, I got you, Harrison. Runner does move over, so in essence, a sacrifice bunt.
Very impressive to even get a piece of that. That pitch was so low, but Duro making the play. Not just throwing it on a line to Hastings, understanding that he can hop it there as well. And getting that all-important first out.
Now the Bernie native, Bernie Champion High School, Rain Ecker. Takes a breaking ball down low for ball 1. Harrison making a good attempt at that last play and getting an out. We saw Jackson Tier field his position, Kay do it yesterday. And it really is interesting how it happens at practice. Now, they do it all the time, but I thought one particular practice, it was so funny how it occurred. You might remember at home, Tiger Network, the walk-off against Centenary. It led to a sweep, very exciting extra inning win for the Tigers, but it happened on a bunt that the Gents of Centenary couldn't field, and they overthrew the first baseman, and it just led to all sorts of chaos, and the Tigers won. Very first thing the Tigers do on their next practice after that win, they practice bunt coverage. And I felt, and then I asked the coaches, did you kind of learn from Centenary and say, hey, we got to get this down on our end? And they said, yeah, we want to make sure we have it down. And ever since then, it seems like every practice they start off with bunt coverages, and Duro showing that it pays off.
Yeah, bunt coverage such an important part of this game. Schreiner fans know that from what happened last night with their failure to cover a bunt, resulting in 2 runs being brought in. But every week, or most weeks, in practice, they do pitchers versus hitters. And the pitchers are going to have to cover the bunts. The hitters get in the line, they bunt one by one, as Rigor will make that play. But they cover their bunts, and then it's a score. So if the hitters reach, they get a point. Pitchers cover, they get a point. And then the loser has to run. So it's just a way that they reinforce bunt coverage in the team.
It's definitely fun to watch. The competition starts bleeding through these guys. And sometimes the consequence is running, but there's another consequence that is even better. And I don't know how unique it is. I had never seen it before being around Trinity baseball as Duel misses high. 2 away in the top of the 4th, runner on second. Somersaults. They have to somersault across the turf. And I know one person in particular really doesn't like it. And that's Ezra Gore. DeRoe's breaking ball, a strike, even count 1-1. For whatever reason, one of the most athletic guys on the team cannot somersault. And so he is in pain every time that is the consequence. And Coach Scannell loves it too. He loves to see it.
Yeah, he would. He would like that. That's the exact type of methods Coach Scannell would use. I'm not surprised at all that he does that.
It seems to be the only thing Ezra's not good at.
Feels like it.
2-1 from DeRoe. Bouncer to the left side. Shortstop has it. Throw on to Hastings in time for the 3rd out. So DeRoe has given up 5 hits, a walk, plenty of traffic on the base paths, but most importantly, nothing coming home. Trinity still up 2-0, headed to the bottom of the 4th. (2-0) remains the advantage for Trinity over Schreiner as we get started in the bottom of the 4th. The starter, Bo Veely, still out there, trying to keep things close for the Mountaineers, and Austin Davison will lead off. He's had an excellent day honoring himself as a senior. And even after he hangs up the cleats as a Tiger, already well on his way to a great future. He's got an internship set up with JP Morgan. So he will be moving to Columbus, Ohio after he graduates. And he said that could either lead to a full-time job offer or he will look to get a master's degree in global finance and business management. He said there's a chance he looks to play a 5th year somewhere. You never know, because he doesn't feel ready to put up those cleats just yet. But one way or another, just another shining example of what these Tigers do on the field and off the field.
It's great to see the opportunities lined up for these guys as you get to know them and seeing their lives come together after baseball.
Little roller right back to the pitcher will set Davison back to the dugout. But still plenty of time for the senior in this game with the Tigers up 2-0 in the 4th. And now up to bat, the junior, Corson Hastings.
Great job fielding his position. We talk about that with the Trinity pitchers, the importance of it. And Schreiner struggled a little bit defensively this series. Plays like that can help settle them down.
Hastings takes a strike. Corson, the San Antonio native, has taken on an interesting role this week. One that I've taken on the broadcast since we talked about Fiesta yesterday. Since he knows San Antonio better than anybody, he gets a lot of Fiesta questions just like I have. And he's got great answers. So we know what it's like to be in San Antonio for Fiesta, and we are enlightening everyone else.
We all need to be enlightened. Fiesta sounds like a good time. And it's important that you know how to operate when it's happening.
Takes a breaking ball outside for a strike. 1-2 the count now to Hastings. I will very importantly confirm that he agrees with me that chicken on a stick is good.
Good.
He's a fan.
Okay.
So you can add that to your tally.
I still have it. I still have it written down here.
Clearly a good student taking your notes.
Chicken on a stick.
Hastings battling in this at-bat. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody on in the 4th. Very similar to game 1 of this doubleheader. Tigers were up 2-0, then 2-1 before erupting for a 9 spot. Hastings continues to have a patient AB. 3-2 now.
So what else do you recommend with Fiesta? Do you think Corson would agree?
You've got 4 years here, Cole.
Okay.
And there are 3 main parades. So if you go to 1 every year, you'll have a year to spare.
That's true.
Hastings, the 3-2, will be sent to second base. Saucedo has it, and that's out number 2. But you can pick 1 every year, and that way you don't overwhelm yourself.
Okay.
But you enjoy each one. So the River Parade is always on Monday night, a Fiesta. Texas Cavaliers River Parade. Then you've got Fiesta Flambeau. That's a night parade where all the floats light up. And then, of course, the staple, Battle of Flowers, on the Friday of Fiesta. Growing up in San Antonio, if you go to public school, you have that day off of school, all for a parade. That's how important it is.
Yeah. We don't get that off here, though.
And someone who is also familiar with Fiesta is someone who was born in San Antonio, just like Tanner Haney, even though he's from Waco now, and that's where he lives. He was born in the Alamo City, as he fouls this one away. And he was talking to me about that this week, actually, saying when he transferred from UT, it was a really difficult process. He got cut from the team as a Longhorn, and he was looking for anywhere to go. He looked up the top 25 of D2, D3, and NAIA programs, and as he did his research and reached out to people, he said that Coach Andrew Waters, the assistant coach here at Trinity, was one of the first people to respond, saying, hey, we're interested, let's get to know you. And when everything started adding up, he could get his master's in accounting here. He could be back in his hometown and with a top-tier academic and athletic program. That's what ended up bringing Haney and turning him from a Longhorn to a Tiger.
Ended up working out. Tanner Haney, definitely one of the most enjoyable people to be around when you go to practice. Very warm, very welcoming. One of the first people I was introduced to when I first started being around the team.
He has a 3-1 count here, trying to turn on it and sends it foul. And I think you're spot on that, Cole. From the very first day I met Tanner, he said hello to me, and he has said hello to me every single day since. Even when you see him every day, he always says hello, how are you doing?
Yep. That's the kind of guy he is. Always with a big smile.
Awaiting the 3-2 here, trying to foul it and will it out of play. And he succeeds at it. He'll get another shot. Or no, he will not. The catcher going almost into the dugout, out of view for just a moment. And the catch is made, so Tanner Haney will have to wait a little bit for his next at-bat. And we'll take a break on Tiger Network. Tigers up 2, headed to the 5th. Big smile on the face of Harrison Duro as he gets set to start the 5th inning, up 2-0. bottom of the Schreiner order, Seth Joseph will lead things off. And he turns on one to start it off, but it'll go foul. Tomahawking it all the way to the pool, it seems like. But at the end of the day, just a foul ball. An impressive swing by the junior. Looking for his first hit since April 10th against TLU. Thought about a bunt. DeRoe looped in the breaker. Pettit wants it wide. DeRoe got it there. Bounces away though, and Joseph laid off. When you talk about bringing the heat, Harrison DeRoe has been one of the prime examples. A Trinity pitching staff that not only has lowered their ERA, almost cutting it in half from that 6.27 to now 3.4, the most updated figure. But their strikeouts per 9-inning number has been through the roof. 10 strikeouts a game. Not only the best mark in the conference, 9th best in Division III baseball. And Harrison DeRoe, one of the main culprits when you look at his ratio. Looking to add on to it, but Joseph battling and remaining in the batter's box. DeRoe now with 4 strikeouts today, with 4 innings pitched, so he's up to 36 on the year. And he has 53 strikeouts in those innings worked. So 53 strikeouts in 36 1/3. That ratio starts to add up. Him and Jack Martinez really helping that number, and very few pitching staffs strike out more batters than these Tigers. DeRoe looking to rack one more up. 2-2 going in on Joseph. Lands towards the middle, but a bit low, so a 3-2 count now.
Close call, not getting it. We'll see what DeRoe delivers here for the full count.
Pettit right in the middle of the plate. DeRoe listens to his catcher. Some weak contact to Haney, and that's out number 1. But it's not all about the strikeout. They'll take that too.
Weak contact, pitcher's best friend. When you get it early in a at-bat, it's going to lower your pitch count. It's a relaxing way to get out of an inning. A strikeout, very energizing. It's going to get people involved. But if you can take a ground out in 3 pitches, you're going to do that. You're going to take it every time.
Hayden Warren up to bat. He had a bunt single his last time up. Looks at ball 1. Talking to Harrison about if anything changed getting to start against Southwestern rather than be in the bullpen. And he said not a whole lot as he fires in a fastball there. But he said he did feel himself giving it his all on every pitch. He really maxed out. He said, I'm not going to hold back. And he was able to go 7 innings doing that against the top team in the conference, holding them to just 2 runs, all of which came in the first inning. Really, after that first inning, there was nothing going against DeRoe.
Yeah, settled in very nicely. Ended up taking the loss, but definitely not on him.
Strike 3 on the swing and a miss. Pettit's throw, though, will bounce away from Hastings, so DeRoe will have to do it again. Credit him with a K, but the Mountaineers get a base runner out of it.
Very rare we don't see Tyler Pettit make that throw, almost automatic. But allowing free base runners, this might be the break Schreiner needs to get back into this game.
And a break for them also in terms of where it comes in the lineup, because now you have the catcher, Cardoza. Lays off of ball 1, middle of the order coming up for Schreiner, looking to do some damage and get back into this game. It's an offense that is more than capable of exploding. They have just been held quiet by this Tiger pitching staff. The 1-0 Cardoza turns into 2-0. You do have a bit of action in the Tiger bullpen as the tower rings to signal the 5 o'clock hour. Curveball, a beauty for strike 1.
Able to locate that on the bottom part of the zone. One of the many places DeRoe can locate that breaking ball. Does it very effectively there.
Now goes with the fastball, and Cardoza all sorts of fooled. 2-2 now after getting ahead. And that's what Harrison can do to you. You expect a fastball on 2-0, you get the breaking ball. Then you don't know what to expect, and you get the fastball blown by you. Now the 2-2, but look at the quality of a hitter. That Cardoza is. He gets a 2-strike knock to right, but the throw in time. What a recovery from Ezra Gore to help out his pitcher. And Schreiner getting a bit greedy after the base hit.
I wouldn't even say they got greedy, Brian. I think it's very understandable that they would want to go from first to third on a hit like this, but Ezra Gore with a cannon. Skip the cutoff man. Go right to Jack Baker, who's going to apply the tag in time.
Just when you think Schreiner is on the verge of breaking out, they get an out on the base pass, although here Chanskoen says not so fast. Another line drive single. So 2 runners on now there are. Still 2 away in the top of the 5th, but Schreiner putting some good swings now off of Duro.
And look how important that was now. Man on third, if he's safe, coming in to score easily. Now it's just first and second.
Powerful righty DeCarlo up now with 2 runners on and 2 away. Duro trying to get out of it. High leg kick, curveball, strike 1. Mountaineers now 15-20 on the year, 4-13 in conference play. But they have given some of the best teams in the conference all they can ask for. That includes Centenary, Southwestern, and TLU. Here, DeCarlo goes the opposite way. It's carrying out to the warning track, and it's up against the wall. 1 run in for Schreiner. Here comes the tying run, and the Mountaineers climbing back into this one to tie it up at 2. Almost flicking it the other way with one hand. DeCarlo showing his strength and putting it over Ezra Gore. And in the top of the 5th, we now find ourselves tied.
See if Schreiner can keep this going. Talked about getting somebody on, see if he can build something. A very good inning for them. Now it's up to Duro to stop the bleeding. Still a man on second.
Left fielder Juarez at the plate for Schreiner. He's been at the center of it all this weekend. Right in the middle of the lineup today, looking to put the Mountaineers up. Duro goes with a perfectly placed fastball, though, to get ahead 0-2. And he's got his full quiver of arrows to go to now. 0-2. Pettit asking for it up. Duro up there. But a nice job laying off 1-2 for Juarez.
Right where Pettit wanted it. Nod of approval after that pitch.
Will he stay up there, or will he change the eye level and go with the breaking ball? He does go with the breaking ball, but again, spitting on it is Juarez, so 2-2 the count now. Some professional at-bats in this inning. First, it was Cardoza with the single. And now, Juarez, the latest of the Mountaineers, not letting this series get away from them. After 2 tough games, showing up in Game 3, Pettit puts his glove on the inside part. It is inside, but it's ball 3. So from 0-2 to 3-2.
Very patient at bat. These are quality pitches from Duro. Just not biting on any of them. See if he goes after him or if it's going to be another off-speed pitch.
The 87th pitch of the afternoon for Duro. Is a swing and a miss? No, got a tip of it, says the home plate umpire. Just barely.
Another really good pitch by Duro, finding a way to get a piece of it. Staying alive.
Duro wiping the sweat off of his face before this pitch. 60% humidity today in San Antonio. It's a muggy one. Can he get at least one more? Not on that one. Juarez all the way back from 0-2 draws the walk, and the trouble continues as these Mountaineers stir in the pot.
Really patient at bat. Able to lay off several enticing pitches. Fouls one off towards the end. Ultimately able to reach and extend this inning for Schreiner.
A pitching visit on the way. Looks like it'll be pitching coach Dave Smith, and it is. This is the first we've seen of him, but it won't be a chat. It'll be a change. Schreiner with runners on first and second, 2 away in the top of the 5th, and they have tied things up. You won't want to go anywhere. A great finish on the way. Tigers in a bit of trouble here in the top of the 5th. 2 runners on, 2 out. So who do you call? Jack Martinez out of the bullpen. The sophomore from Corpus Christi trying to get out of the jam. First pitch fouled back straight into the net. That was a pretty good swing from Cardenas.
We know what Jack Martinez loves to do. He can touch 94 with his fastball, and then he can rip a changeup in there. Very hard combination of pitches. Not the first time he's come into a situation like this.
But Cardenas gets a hold of that one and gets it a ride, but Ty Preston in there for the out. Scared Tiger fans for a moment, but the swing was bigger than the result. So 2 pitches was all it took for Jack Martinez to leave a couple of Mountaineers. However, we find ourselves with a tie ball game halfway home in Game 3. Get a look at the Tiger dugout, now dealing with a brand new ball game. Top of the Trinity lineup will look to get things back in the maroon and white direction. Gore took a first pitch ball, now up 1-0, and it's 2-0. Veely not afraid to throw inside. Something we really saw earlier from Cardenas as well. These Mountaineer pitchers willing to work in and out, and it's working so far for Veely, even though he's behind in this count. Gets one back with the swinging strike, 2-1.
It's a good example of what you were saying, Brian. Goes inside on the pitch before and then right back out. It's difficult for Trinity to know what to expect on the next pitch.
Wanted the inside corner, not going to get it. 3 balls, 1 strike.
Continue to see the patience of Ezra Gore.
Based on his performance thus far, you have to imagine Mountaineers will be seeing a lot more of Bo Veely. Is 3-1. Bounce to the left side. Gets past the third baseman, and the shortstop won't even give it a whirl. Ezra Gore beats out another one. We'll await the official ruling. But either way, Speed reaches first to lead off the 5th.
Speed, the key word of that sequence. Ezra Gore just able to beat it out. Shortstop does a good job ranging over, backing up the third baseman. But no chance to get speedy number 4.
Jack Baker wearing his traditional number 7 once again after he used 31 yesterday. 1 for 2 on the evening, and he swings at the first pitch, drives it past the shortstop into left. Gore going first to third, ball right in front of him, and he gets there safely. The speed of the Trinity Tigers on full display. Runners at the corners and nobody out.
Glow stick at work for Jack Baker. A little break on that ball. Baker makes no mistake about it, puts it into left field. You see the speed of Ezra Gore going first to third, even though that didn't get very far into the outfield.
Baker now 4 for 6 on the weekend. You include the 1 for 1 he had at UT Dallas, that means he is 5 for 7 in his last 3 games. He'll take that average, and now Pettit a chance to put the Tigers right back up. Takes the first strike from Veely. Nearly nips the elbow of Pettit, instead a 1-1 count. Have a feeling that as a catcher for 3 games in a row, doesn't want to be hit any more in his body. He'd rather swing the bat. He'll get to do so on 1-1. Swings over the top of that one down low, 1-2.
Good pitch on the inside.
Similar pitch this time. Pettit gets a piece of it, and look at the heads-up play by Cardenas. Gore caught just off of the bag, and the third baseman applied the tag to get the lead runner out.
Talk about defensive awareness. This is a prime example from Cardenas. Sees Ezra Gore took a step off third base, had the lead. So you're going to see here on the replay. Just too far in front, no chance for Gore to get back, even with the speed.
Great camera work there, allowing us to see it up close and personal. 1 away, runners at first and second now. Ty Preston takes ball 1. Gore was credited with a single, so it wasn't an error by Cardenas whatsoever. A tough play that he wasn't able to get that allowed Gore to reach, but he more than made up for it there by getting Gore out at third. So helping his pitcher out. Now, ground ball possibly away from being out of the inning. Puts this one in the turf, though. 2-0 for Preston. Shortstop Goins keeping Baker as close as he can. So there's a lot of room between third and shortstop if you're Ty Preston. Now Goins backs up a little bit. Preston does go that way. It's in the air. It's in the left center field gap, and it's at the wall. Preston does it again. Baker in to score. Pettit to third. Another RBI double for Ty Preston.
Talked about mature at-bats from Ty Preston. Sees that breaking ball's a little up, gonna go get it. And puts it right in the gap between left and center field. Gonna one-hop the wall and gives Trinity the lead right back.
Michael Montreza a chance to do even more damage on senior day. He has 2 RBI in this game, 1 earlier. And he's got 2 in scoring position with just 1 away. Tigers back on top, 3-2. Montreza swings over the top of that one. It gets away, but Schreiner able to recover and keep the runner at third. And now the home plate umpire looked like he took a beating after that. Got away from the catcher, so he is still down. Hope he is all right. We already saw the field umpire have to exit after he was hit with a line drive. So we're going to take another break on Tiger Network. Let him get his breath. Not easy being an umpire. That is what today has shown. Both of them taking balls directly into their bodies, but the home plate umpire looks to be okay. Montreza back at the plate, 0-1, 2 runners in scoring position. Takes one low for ball 1. The umpire signaling 2-0, so thanks for the reminder. So it's 2-0, not 1-1. Takes up for the ball, but
I thought Montreza
swung. Yeah, I'm confused as well.
Because when the ump got hit, I thought Montreza swung. Maybe getting hit kind of distracted him and he didn't see that Montreza swung, is my theory.
And they're going to discuss this because that's what the pitcher, Veely, is saying. Although you can forgive the home plate umpire for not realizing, since that's when he took the ball into the body.
Mm-hmm.
And so 2-1 the count. They've corrected it. Long day of baseball. Everyone needs some correction sometimes. We've certainly not been perfect. But now we're ready to go. 2-1. Montreza with those runners at second and third. Sends it foul, 2-2. Pettit reached on a fielder's choice. Gore was tagged out at third, but Preston made sure to pick up his teammate, doubling him home. Moving Pettit over to third, and now those two stand in scoring position. The 2-2 delivery from Veely to Montreza, a beauty of a curveball, freezes him for strike 3.
Locates it on the inside part of the plate. Up high. Great pitch with 2 strikes. You're going to see it on the replay here, the location of this pitch. Looks like it's high all the way. They're just going to dip inside.
Ball 1 to Peterson. Still those 2 runners in scoring position, but 2 away in the bottom of the 5th. Tigers taking their lead back, but not a comfortable one right now. Just 1 over a Schreiner offense that seems ready to erupt if given the chance. Peterson trying to add some insurance. Can't connect with that one. 1-1 for Peterson, who has already struck out twice today.
Important to figure out a way to bring these two runners in. Trinity up, found a way to get the lead back, but it is not a comfortable one. Schreiner has shown the ability to hang around in this game. It's up to Trinity to pull away.
Feely feeling really comfortable with the breaking ball. Right now, though, it is just missing the outer part of the zone. Peterson ahead 2 balls, 1 strike. The 5'11" righty delivers to Peterson. Bounced foul. One fun fact about this matchup between Peterson and Veely, both of them from Round Rock. And Jack Peterson has known a lot of opponents this year. Might very well know Veely. Looking to get one off of him. DeCarlo creeping in. That's where they've gotten Peterson so far, and they get him again. Veely strands 2 in scoring position, but the Tigers do take their lead back 3-2, headed to the 6th. Mountaineers have already climbed back once. They're going to have to climb back at least once more if they want to win this one. Tigers taking a 3-2 lead, now starting the top of the 6th, and Jack Martinez on the mound. Rain Ecker, the man at the plate. Martinez had 2 runners on when he came in to relieve Harrison DeRoe, and he got a pop fly out to get out of the jam. Ecker has had some good swings today, puts that one foul. And the umbrellas go up behind home, not raining, just very sunny. Look at that changeup drop off the table. That is jaw-dropping stuff right there. Just the second strike of the at-bat, but wow. Ecker able to get a piece of this next changeup, but it'll be an out retired by the third baseman. And it is just a pitch that has impressed all season long, and it leaves us speechless sometimes, Cole.
Yeah, it's just the combination with that changeup, which is a very good pitch in itself, and then the fastball. It's one of the highest velos on the team.
Bunt attempt, Martinez all over it. Easy pitching catch, 2 away, just like that in the 6th.
That's what Jack Martinez can do. Schreiner has some momentum, comes into that situation, gets the quick out, and now he can just settle it down.
Settle down is exactly what Martinez did the last time he was out there against Southwestern. In this reliever role that he has become so used to and continues to just drop in those changeups with ease. He went 3 2/3, no hits allowed. A run did come across, but it was unearned, and he struck out 8 Pirates on the way to a Friday night victory. Some people thought that was a fair ball, but the home plate umpire says foul ball.
That was close. It's a good job by Pettit, just in case that ball was fair. Jumping on and throwing the first. But the umpire probably had the best look at that one.
Joseph still in the batter's box. Pettit tags him. Looks like he thought it was strike 3. So lots of confusion during this at-bat, but we still find ourselves with Joseph at the plate, 2 away, and nobody on in the top of the 6th. There's a foul ball. It is fair to assume that when Martinez is on the mound, he will get some strikeouts. You can't blame Pettit. Joseph connects with this 2-strike delivery, but no problem for the backpedaling shortstop. 3 up, 3 down for Martinez in the 6th. Tigers still up 1. Before we could even catch our breath, Jack Martinez got 3 outs, and now Davison looks at strike 1 from a new Schreiner pitcher. That is number 33, Garrett Landon, the senior from Lavernia, Texas. Goes with consecutive breaking balls and gets consecutive strikes. 0-2 to Davison.
Austin Davidson, good day at the plate.
Landon, a bit of an issue with his footing.
Yeah, couldn't tell what quite happened there.
Might have gotten his cleat stuck in that turf.
That turf.
Not affecting him there. Comes right back with the breaking ball. 3 strikes in a row to Davison.
Now, great bounce back. Strike 3 like nothing ever happened, but I was about to say that turf can catch your front foot. It's going to dig in more, and that can be a bit of an adjustment, especially if you're coming from a place where you play on grass.
This is one of the most experienced pitchers on the Schreiner staff. Gets a strike to Corson Hastings. The senior has thrown 59 innings in his career. So he is definitely a reliable arm for head coach Ryan Brisbane. Goes in, but too much inside for Hastings. 1-1. The problem for Landon this year has been the walks. He has had almost as many walks as he has innings. Here, a looper drops in for a base hit and gets past the left fielder, Juarez. Hastings off and running at second, thinking about 3, but he holds up. Left fielder gets it in to keep him to just that, but Corson Hastings turns a blooper into a double.
One of the worst things that can happen if you're an outfielder is to let the ball get behind you. Just going to catch him on his non-glove side. Not able to make the play, but actually able to hold him to 2 instead of 3. I thought that ball was going to keep going back, and he was able to take a triple, but able to hold it to just a double.
Sets up an RBI opportunity for Tanner Haney. They're saying it's a single and then a fielding error that allows him to get to second. Definitely understand that. Though it was a tough play to understand the bounce off the turf. Hastings would have loved the double, but either way, he's at second with just one away in the bottom of the sixth. Tigers trying to add on to their one-run lead. Landon's pitch to Haney, well outside. That walk problem for Landon showing up in his last outing against Centenary. 3 2/3 innings. Only gave up 2 hits, but he had 5 walks in that outing. Haney puts it into play. Another one like his last. And it's the same result. The catcher gets underneath it for the foul pop-up. So how many times do you see one hitter hit 2 pop-ups foul to the catcher in consecutive at-bats?
Not that often, Brian. Not that often.
Unlucky for Tanner Haney, who would, of course, love the opportunities on senior day. But he'll pass the baton on to the next senior as Rigor with the runner at second. Breaking ball, strike at the top of the zone to Gore. Tries to get his hands underneath that one, does, but it's a pop fly for Juarez, and he's underneath this one, 2 hands on the glove, and he gets the third out. So Tigers up 1, but they don't add to their lead. Martinez back out there for the top of the 7th. We've got some pretty good baseball here in the Alamo City. Trinity 3, Schreiner 2 in the top of the 7th inning. The Mountaineers have been battling back, and they have to deal with Martinez yet again, who gets a first pitch strike. Few pitchers have been more dominant this year than Jack Martinez. It has been a spectacle, and we have been front row to his show.
He has especially turned it on late. Tried to use him as a starter at the beginning of the year, opening weekend against Birmingham Southern. That didn't go quite as well as they would have wanted, but has bounced back in a big way coming out of the bullpen.
He's ahead of Warren, 1-2. Warren, the leadoff hitter, trying to get something going for Schreiner. Slaps it the other way. Foul. Hastings there just in case. Rumor has it that Martinez's fastball got up to 95 in Georgetown against Southwestern. He's been up to 94, sits pretty comfortably at 91, 92. But as the season goes along, he just gets stronger. Misses outside to take it 2-2.
Well, we talked about how he didn't play summer ball and chose to focus on himself, increasing his velocity, working out, and just getting better overall. And the results have been very fruitful.
That last ball, you can kind of sense it was near 95, and gets it up and in again. Might have nicked the umpire, and it also nicked the batter, but it would have been ball 4 either way. A lead-off base runner, Aiden Warren, and he's a fast one. Not what Martinez wanted to do to start this 7th inning, so Schreiner with a little bit of a chance here to start things off. Warren over there, 5 stolen bases on the year, has been caught just once. But this is also a big part of why Martinez is in the bullpen this year, as he gets Cardoza to foul it the other way. Coach Smith really believes Martinez, along with Shavana, are some of the best at holding runners on. So in late game scenarios like this, where a runner might want to take off, he trusts Martinez to keep him there. So far he has, and he gets ahead 0-2.
And we talk about how every single base is so valuable, especially in a close game like this one. Very high leverage situation. Keeping that runner in first. Difference between winning and losing.
And he blows the fastball by Cardoza there. That had to be up there in the 90s. Now the 3-hole hitter Goins up to bat. Takes some off with the changeup. Goins lays off. Warren didn't take off with the heavy hitter at the plate last time. Still not going anywhere, but now he takes off with the pitch a little late. But he'll have to head back with the foul ball. Such a fun cat and mouse game to always keep track of when there's a fast base runner out first.
That's something that Jack Martinez has to keep tabs on.
You can see the quick slide step. Caught the hitter and the runner off guard. 1-2 the count now, so mixing up his looks as well.
Yeah, anything to keep these guys off balance. As Martinez, 2 things to worry about can be very difficult.
He's ahead 1-2 on Goins. Goes with the slider, misses away. The throw from Pettit, not in time. Warren snags second base. And now a runner in scoring position with just 1 out, the tying run in the form of Warren. Pettit did all he could, but on a breaking ball like that, very tough to catch a speedy runner.
That's exactly it. Breaking ball going to take more time to get there. Able to recognize it.
But no problem for Martinez. He just goes back to the flamethrower and gets another strikeout, looking 2 in a row. Now 2 outs in the 7th, and the cleanup hitter, all that's left. But he is quite the cleanup hitter. We saw him double it to the right field fence and tie this game up. Can he do it again for the Mountaineers? Takes a breaking ball, strike 1.
See Martinez start to mix that breaking ball in there. He already has the changeup fastball combination. Can sneak that 3rd pitch in there.
DeCarlo, the junior from Chandler, Arizona. Takes one high for ball 1, evened up at 1-1. He transferred from Glendale Community College. He has fit right into the heart of the Schreiner order. Warren bouncing off of second, but the changeup gets a swing and a miss. 1-2 for Martinez. Coach Brisbane saying DeCarlo has done a great job making adjustments as the league has adjusted to him. But the adjustment made by Martinez, the changeup, 3 strikes, 3 strikeouts for Martinez. It is that easy sometimes for the sophomore from Corpus Christi. He keeps the Trinity lead at 1, and it is time to stretch in San Antonio. Welcome back to Tiger Network. We have a thrilling game on our hands. Trinity 3, Schreiner 2 in the bottom of the 7th. Jack Baker will get things going, swings at the first pitch and rolls it softly to first. Easy out for Landon, and that is just what the doctor ordered if you're the Mountaineers.
Quick first out. We see the different approaches from these Trinity hitters. Jack Baker likes to swing early with the glow stick. We've seen several other hitters wait and work walks. Just trying to figure out what works for them. Jack Baker's had a lot of success with that, even though it didn't work out there.
Tyler Pettit, the man at the plate now. 1 for 3, has scored a run. He swings at the first pitch. He keeps it into play. Didn't think it was. The clean throw on to first from Cardenas, and that's 2 pitches, 2 outs.
Exactly what you want when you're down. Hold the deficit and hold it quickly. Finding a way to do that. 2 pitches, 2 outs.
A great look at the angle the third baseman had. And so Landon trying to get past the heart of the Tiger order without even blinking an eye. He misses low to Preston, 1-0. Preston has done just a bit of everything today. 1 for 2, an RBI, a walk. Takes a strike on the outer half. This is more the type of game that we've gotten used to this season in particular. Tiger pitchers doing their best to keep the opponent down, and the Trinity offense grinding every at-bat, trying to scratch and claw for every run. Landon drops in a breaking ball, 2-2 now the count. A Trinity team that has only scored double digits 6 times this year. By this point last year, they had done that 19 times. That's right, 19 times. You got to remember, they nearly averaged 10 runs a game. It was pretty much a daily occurrence. So it's been a flipping of the script. They got 10 last night. They got 9 earlier today. But just 3 in game 2 of the doubleheader. Landon, the 3-2 misses outside. So Preston gets on to at least extend the inning a little bit.
A good long at-bat from Ty Preston after 2 one-pitch at-bats. Trying to extend this inning. You don't want to give it back to Schreiner that quickly, as Ty Preston finds a way to get on base.
Michael Montreza has that runner at first, 2 away in the bottom of the 7th. First pitch, well up and in. Montreza, the only man on this roster who knows what it felt like to win the 2019 Conference Championship. Takes high to get ahead 2-0. It's easy to forget, but these Tigers have not won the conference the last 2 seasons. Centenary won it last year, and Texas Lutheran won it the year before. COVID got the best of them in 2020. So it was back in 2019 that the Tigers last lifted that trophy. However, Montreza, as much as he enjoyed that, had some other ideas as to what his favorite memories are when he's been at Trinity. And it was a pretty popular answer, and that's winning the Super Regional against Birmingham Southern. He said the camaraderie of that dog pile in particular, just pure elation, sensing we finally accomplished our biggest goal.
Yeah, and several players also talked about the ride back home and how fun that was, just being around the team, just at the highest moment of the season.
Montreza can't get a piece of that one. The catcher takes care of it. A bit of a wide throw, but Ecker has it. So Landon going toe-to-toe with Martinez. Trinity, though, still up as we head to the 8th. 3-2 our score. Top of the 8th in San Antonio. Trinity 3, Schreiner 2. Jack Martinez still out there for the Tigers. And he fires in a fastball to start off Juarez. 3 strikeouts in 2 1/3 inning. That is just another day at the office for Jack Martinez. But he's got a pesky hitter in Juarez at the plate. Takes the ball outside, 1-1. 2 walks and a hit for the left fielder. Takes strike 2, 1-2 the count. Cardenas and Ecker due up in this inning as Martinez looks to shut down Schreiner. 1-2. There's some heat from Martinez. Strikeout number 4.
We've seen them go down by way of the changeup, and now the fastball. So he uses these different pitches in different situations. Hitters don't know what to expect, and you see it there.
That is certainly one. My only wish would be to have a radar gun here to see the number on that one. Cardenas not impressed, so sends it down the line, but it hooks foul. A break for Martinez and the Tigers as Cardenas was sensing 2 off the bat.
A break indeed, as that just finds the left side of the line out in left field.
Martinez ready for the 0-1. Cardenas swinging again, this time the other way. Hastings has room, and he makes the catch, out number 2.
Think about the swings in a baseball game. How quickly that could have been extra bases for Schreiner, and then the next pitch, it's out number 2.
Ecker lays off the first pitch, 1 for 3 on the day. The champion Charger from Bernie, Texas, has looked impressive from the left side. Takes another ball, 2-0. Ian Juarez, the only lefties in the lineup. And that's ball 3. Make it ball 4. Quick work for Ecker. Gets him on first, and the tying run now on the bases.
That's a tough spot to give out a walk. 2 outs, so close to just getting out of this inning, with only 1 more to go defensively. Give out the walk. Now Schreiner has another opportunity.
Martinez recovers with a strike after 4 consecutive out of the zone. Number 66, Noah Saucedo. He'll wait on a pickoff attempt. Martinez keeping the runner honest. Ecker has not attempted a steal. Barely getting a piece of that and sending it foul. 0-2, and Martinez now all sorts of options to work with. We've seen the heat, we've seen the changeup, and he has the breaking ball as well. Pettit setting up outside. It's a breaking ball, but it's a ball. Already 4 strikeouts in 3 innings of work. The 1-2 from Martinez. Good swing, straight back into the net. Saucedo not going down quietly.
Finding a way to stay alive, trying to extend this inning for the Mountaineers.
Pettit setting up a big target. The 1-2 from Martinez. Strike 3 called. The changeup was low. Pettit put his glove there, and the umpire liked it. So a couple of close calls have gone the way of the Tiger pitching staff, and Martinez will certainly take it. We're headed to the bottom of the 8th. Trinity 3, Schreiner 2. Bottom of the 8th, Trinity 3, Schreiner 2. The first pitch to Peterson, down low for ball 1. And we're going to have our camera going back and forth between the view you see there and the action at home plate, because there is one more senior we want to be sure to highlight, as Peterson golfs this one and sends it to right, but the right fielder Warren there for the out. We've talked about our seniors all day long, but one more right there, Drake Eggers, the first base coach for the Tigers, but he has done so much more than coach first base. He pitched for 4 years here at Trinity, but he never actually saw time on the mound during a game. He never even dressed out. But after hanging up his jersey, Dave Smith said at the beginning of last year, when it looked like he wouldn't make the team as a senior and he hurt his shoulder a bit, said, "You know my pitching staff better than anybody." And he also took lessons as a San Antonio native back in middle school with Dave. And so he really knew Dave's language, and he became a disciple of Dave and became a pitching coach of sorts, as Davison loops one into left center, and that's a bloop hit for Davison. Another single for that senior, as we talk about this senior, Drake, who will fist bump Davison. And so ever since becoming a pitching coach, Drake has been a key part of the turnaround we've talked over and over about on Tiger Network, that 6.27 ERA down to 3.4. Dave really credits Drake and all the work he has put in 6 days a week without much compensation other than a thank you, but he is out there because he wants to help, and it's just amazing to get to see the work that Drake Eggers has done for this Tiger staff.
Well, talking about Drake Eggers, Coach Dave Smith said something along the lines of, pitchers are replaceable, but it's going to be very hard to replace what David has done for this program.
Yeah, it's unbelievable to hear that kind of thing from a pitching coach, and it really hits hard to think of Drake not being a part of this Trinity team anymore. Tanner Haney takes a strike from Garrett Landon. So glad we got to give Drake Eggers a shout out and appreciate the camera work there, the coordination. Reed Rosales really helping us out. When he's not at softball calling games, he is helping us out on camera. No, David's out there as well, so thank you. Adam has done a great job on the roof all weekend long. So many people putting this broadcast together. Looping breaking ball gets a strike on Tanner Haney. Now 1-2. And just to wrap up Drake a little bit more, he said for 4 years he never got to pitch, and he felt like Trinity wouldn't have known he was here. But now that he has gotten to coach and make an impact, he really feels that Trinity now knows who he is. So Drake, we certainly know who you are. You're very much responsible for this Trinity pitching staff. And it's a pitching staff that has shut down Schreiner, just 3 runs allowed all weekend. And they're going to try to hold on to a 3-2 lead. We'll stick around here, Cole, because there's so much action and so much to talk about. It's hard to believe we only have 1 inning left of the year.
I know, it's difficult to believe. And Brian, we've been highlighting seniors pretty much all day, but there's one senior that we haven't gotten the highlight yet. That's an integral part of the baseball team and what we do, and that is you. This will be your last half inning of baseball.
It sure will.
At least of Trinity baseball. There will be plenty of innings of other baseball, as you have a job with the San Antonio Missions. So we look forward to seeing what you will be able to do with your future, and we thank you for everything that you have done here at Tiger Network.
That is very kind of you, Cole. I very much appreciate that. It has been truly the honor of a lifetime to call all sports here at Trinity, but I definitely have a soft spot in my heart for Trinity baseball. Baseball being my #1 sport, my passion, and getting to be out here every day with the team, getting to meet the coaches, meet the players, has been truly a pleasure. So can't think of any better way to spend my time at Trinity than right here on Tiger Network. And if Jack Martinez has his say, this really will be my last half inning. He doesn't want any extra baseball.
No extra baseball. Trinity up 1. Let's keep it that way.
Change up to Joseph, looking good as ever. Martinez 1-1 the count. Schreiner has hung around all game long. They were in the first game of the doubleheader before it got away. And Martinez gets a wave and a miss, 1-2 to Joseph. Pettit sets up inside. Martinez hits the target perfectly. A soft roller to Baker, the first out of the inning. Hastings able to keep his foot on the bag, and Martinez gets the ever important leadoff hitter out.
Always important to not let Schreiner get any momentum. You know, they get the first one on. All of a sudden, they have more confidence that they can bring him in. But Martinez is able to shut all of that down.
And you know, Jack Martinez is approaching an interesting little milestone here as he drops in a changeup. He has now thrown 3 2/3 innings. He's got 2 outs left that he wants to get. But by throwing these innings, he's now at 36 for the year. And you might wonder, well, what's the big deal about that? Well, this is the 36th game played by Trinity as he just gets another K, 6 on the day, and perfect timing because according to the NCAA, now with an inning thrown per team game, Jack Martinez, the righty you're looking at, has the most strikeouts per 9 innings of any pitcher in Division III baseball. He needed these innings to officially qualify, and he now does, and he continues to fire in strikes.
What an achievement by Jack Martinez. Certainly deserves it. As you watch him and you think, yeah, that makes sense.
Misses a bit here to the toughest of the tests in this Schreiner lineup. We've highlighted all weekend long, Gerardo Cardosa. Waves at that one behind 1-2. And the Trinity faithful will make some noise. A great crowd on hand all weekend, especially today on Senior Day. It is the sophomore, 1-2, a bit high. Even count now. 65 strikeouts in 36 innings. He wants 66. Harrison DeRose started this game. Martinez came in on relief. And relief he has. The 2-2 ground ball. Montreza, a tough play. Not going to be made. Hastings couldn't get his glove on it. And Schreiner has some life left in them.
Just when you think this is going to be curtains. Can't quite make the defensive play. Montreza able to back it up. And that throw, just a little bit offline. Hastings couldn't quite stretch and make the play, so Schreiner still has life in this game.
Martinez returns to the fastball, gets ahead 0-1 on Goins. Graduate senior from right here in San Antonio, Judson Product trying to keep it going for the Mountaineers, and he will as he's hit with that pitch. Runners on first and second, 2 away in the tying run in scoring position.
I think he's just thankful that that was the changeup, because we know that Martinez can touch 95.
And guess who it is? Joseph DiCarlo. He tied it up earlier, and he had another chance. His last plate appearance didn't. But here he is again with the opportunity for a magical moment for the Mountaineers. He's behind 0-1. Martinez working quickly and blowing it past him. 0-2 the count. Cardoza at second. Goins at first. DiCarlo at the plate, and he's hit by the pitch. Bases loaded for Schreiner. 2 outs, nobody on, turns into a bases loaded jam, and now a visit for Martinez.
Unfortunately, I think that was the fastball. Catches him right on the elbow. We can only hope he's okay.
Pitching coach Dave Smith having a conversation with Martinez. It doesn't look like he's taking the ball from him quite yet. Some very direct instruction, and we have heard from so many pitchers this year, Cole, that these visits are crucial they are usually very, very helpful. And you can only imagine in this moment, bases loaded, 2 away, you need 1 out to win the game, what is being said from a pitching coach to a pitcher.
Probably just telling him to settle down, trusting his stuff. He's been in these situations all year, leads the team in saves. No different than any other one.
2 outs in the top of the 9th inning. Trinity up by 1. And the Mountaineers have loaded the bases. Tyler Juarez, the left fielder at the plate, looks at a changeup in the turf. Ball 1. Now it's the Schreiner fans in attendance making noise. Lots of maroon and white everywhere you look. The 1-0 fouled back.
What an opportunity for Tyler Juarez. The struggles he's had in left field at times in this series. To be able to give Schreiner the lead with 1 swing.
Bases full of Mountaineers. The 1-1 from Martinez fouled away. Head coach Ryan Brisbane has said Juarez is a perfect example of why Schreiner tends to hit so well. You give guys reps early in their careers as freshmen and sophomores, and it only helps them later. While the junior, down 1-2, takes one outside. Evens up the count at 2-2.
And this is why we talk about the importance of the catcher position. I think a lot of catchers let that one by them. And a run would have come in to tie the game.
In the turf, ball 3. Full count with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Schreiner trying to tie it up. Martinez wants to end it right here. Strike 3 called! Martinez gets the strikeout, and Trinity gets the sweep. A senior day special delivered by the Trinity Tigers. A little more heartache than they would have wanted in the 9th, but they get it. Martinez, 7 strikeouts in 4 1/3, and you're looking at your strikeout king in Division III baseball. In the most pressure-packed moment, he went to the fastball, and he got the corner. Wow.
It wasn't pretty, Brian, but sometimes it doesn't have to be. Finds a way to hold the lead, and Trinity can bust out the broom as they have swept the Schreiner Mountaineers.
What a weekend it has been, honoring 8 seniors earlier today, wanting to highlight all of their stories, and those stories are so worth telling. You just have to ask some questions sometimes, and you never know what you're going to find out. The Tigers entered this weekend in 2nd place of the conference, and at the very least, they will hold on to that spot. They are now 23-13, 14-4 in the conference, and they are headed to Houston for 1 more series with St. Thomas. But like you mentioned, and we've been talking about all weekend long, along with all the good that has come with this weekend, it is the end of our 2023 season. Very bittersweet. You never know. There's a chance that Tigers win the conference. They could host a regional. You never want to say never. But for now, this is the final time we'll be with you on Tiger Network.
And what a season it was. A 17-game homestand to start things off. Trinity baseball here every weekend. And now winding down. Jack Martinez getting the final save of the season at home. And what a season it was.
What a season it has been for sure. 3-2 Trinity over Schreiner, a sweep of their rivals from Kerrville. And before we sign off on Tiger Network, I do want to be sure to give several thank yous. There are about 1 million people I could thank. I'll start with you, Cole. This has been an incredible season to have you in your first year at Trinity join me in what's my senior year, and it has been a pleasure to call games with you. And also want to, of course, thank Josh Mochigemba for the opportunity to call these games. Gosh. We have incredible opportunities here at Tiger Network, and they are all thanks to him. So thank you for the opportunities. There are so many other people I would like to thank, but he is number one, because without him, I wouldn't even be here. So thank you for joining us, and we'll see you soon.
I'm San Antonio Mayor Ron Nirenberg. I am a Trinity University alum, and I want you to know about my passion for these two vibrant communities. My alma mater is now a nationally recognized liberal arts university, offering fully integrated arts, humanities, STEM, and professional programs. Grounded in the liberal arts, Trinity graduates students who think critically, act meaningfully, and contribute confidently throughout their careers. As for San Antonio, Trinity is an oasis in the heart of a city that serves as a cultural bridge to the Americas. We are a diverse community that values inclusion and welcomes intellectual curiosity and spirited debate. We're a city that challenges convention and welcomes new ideas. Great things are happening at Trinity University, in San Antonio, and through all our connections to our multicultural world. Join me in being part of this exciting moment.